The US has said it will withdraw from a key Cold War-era arms control agreement with Russia at the beginning of next month. Now, it comes after American and Russian officials met in Geneva for talks, and the US side concluded that Moscow is in breach of the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, a position long held by Washington.
So we're going to terminate the agreement. We're going to pull out.
That's important to the Russians, and they're not going to see that treaty survive.
They've been violating it for many years.
It is Russia's position that they're not in violation.
Russia has been developing destabilizing weapon systems for more than a decade.
So one has to ask, how do you convince the Russians to come back into compliance with obligations they don't think they're violating?
In light of these facts, the United States today declares it has found Russia in material breach of the treaty.
And we're not going to let them violate a nuclear agreement and go out and do weapons, and we're not allowed to. Do weapons, and we're not allowed to.
So that's America's point of view. Moscow says it has invited US inspectors to examine the missiles which Washington claims violate the treaty, but to no avail. Russia's deputy foreign minister claimed on Wednesday that responsibility for the failure of the agreement lies squarely with America, which he says has been unwilling to negotiate in good faith. Despite that, Vladimir Putin has said that should the Trump administration change its mind about the pact, Russia is ready to hold talks.
The declaration of the intention to withdraw from the INF Treaty has become just another step in a sequence of similar actions. It's obvious that such a course will have the gravest consequences. Despite the United States' declared intention to withdraw from the INF Treaty, we are open to further dialogue on ways of preserving the treaty.
Well, Washington's decision to tear up the agreement has also drawn criticism from many European officials who appear unsettled by the move.
We regret the withdrawal announced by the US. We see this treaty as a very important arms control instrument and something that also serves European interests and therefore also German interests.
The announcement by the US that it's going to withdraw from the INF Accord is regrettable. The INF agreement has been an important pillar of our European security architecture for 30 years. For us in Europe, it's of great importance. We call on the US to consider the possible consequences.
The US and Russia need to remain engaged in constructive dialogue to preserve the treaty and to ensure that its full and verifiable implementation, which of course is crucial for Europe's and global security.
Well, the INF Treaty was signed back in 1987 by Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev and took effect a year later. It stipulated that both the US and the Soviet Union destroy all ground-based missiles with ranges between 500 and 5,500 kilometers. Under the agreement, neither side had the right to test, produce or deploy any such missiles in the future. Well, investigative journalist Rick Sterling believes that tearing up the arms control treaty could have catastrophic consequences.
There are elements in the administration who just want to withdraw. They want to escalate the arms race. Their goal is, quote unquote, to achieve regain nuclear supremacy. This is actually hugely important. It'll be very dangerous, not just for the United States and Russia, but for the entire world, if we see the continuation of this decline in arms control and a resumption of a full-fledged arms race. And some people say, well, there are other nuclear powers such as China and other countries. But rather than tearing up the INF Treaty, what should be done is to expand it to include other countries. That would be a logical way to proceed. Tearing up the treaty is going to be it's going to be a milestone that has a potentially disastrous consequences, very dangerous.